In the winter, carp fishing can be tough and every bite counts. Typically there is a short window of opportunity when the carp are feeding in the colder months. My carp fishing this winter has been about targeting the higher stock venues to improve my chances of getting a bite. Today you join me at one of my local club waters. It is a lake you've probably seen me fish before in the past, the summer just gone. We came out and did a floater session for an afternoon and we caught 4 or 5, maybe even more than that, number of carp. It's very highly stocked, perfect for those winter conditions where it's tough to get a bite. It's a good number of carp in here. They're not massive, but it's a good chance that we are going to get a bite today. Like I say, tough conditions. Today actually it's quite mild, and it's very low pressure, so I'm imagining it's actually going to be, it's quite ideal today. But the only problem is we've just had Storm Kira and the level of the water is about 18 inches higher than what it would be typically, and we've also got a storm coming this weekend as well. So conditions not the best, but I believe with the warmer day today, the carp are definitely going to be on the feed. And as I've arrived at the lake, just over my shoulder in this particular swim, there's been a few bubblers just out in the middle, and then there's actually been a carp crash in the far margin under the snags. So I think I've only got the one rod today, so I think what I'm going to do is pop out a Ronnie rig on a pop-up, and hopefully we can get ourselves a carp fairly soon. Now the reason why I've started at this end of the lake is because down the far end there's an island out in the centre of the lake, and it's casting a lot of shadow down that side, whereas the sun is on the far bank. You can't fish from the far bank, so you can't get behind that island, and this water, you can tell, has just been exposed to the sunlight and the warmth of the sun for the longer part of the day, which is why apart from seeing those bubbles, I would have probably started at this end anyway. But during the winter, you want to be looking for that warmer water, especially when you get a mild spell. Fish are exactly like people. They seek out the warmth, and you want to be targeting the water. If you haven't seen any signs, then it's always a good bet to go into the water that warms up the fastest. And it happens that this is the shallower end, and shallower water heats up a lot quicker than obviously the deeper water. So if I hadn't seen those fish bubble up or crash on the far margin, then I definitely would have been in this area of the lake anyway. So that's always a good tip to put into your own fishing during the winter months, especially when you're looking for that quick bite. During the winter, my go-to rig is the Ronnie rig. You can use it effectively in almost all situations. It allows you to present a bait to showing fish, knowing the rig is fishing correctly and will reset itself if needed. I typically use a bright pop-up in winter, my current favourite being Core Bait's banana and nut spice flavour in a fluoro white colour. The reason for using a bright pop-up in winter is due to the carp not really feeding. The bright colour is designed to grab the carp's attention to encourage a bite. Well, I've had the pop-up on the far margin now for about half an hour, and I've yet to have a touch, even a line bite. But about halfway out, just to the right of me, there's been a patch of bubbles come up about 2 or 3 minutes ago. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to bring the rod back in, put on a fresh pop-up, and I'm going to whack it out towards those bubbles, and hopefully we can pick ourselves up a carp. As most of my sessions this winter have been short, I carry around only the bare essentials and tackle so I can keep mobile. This allows me to move quickly and present a rig to any signs of showing fish. Well, there we go, a very welcome reward on a cold winter's day. The fish is absolutely freezing. You can tell the water temperature is very, very low at the moment. And this warm weather seems to have got a bit of a feeding response from the fish. And I am very, very happy, even though it's only a little one, but it's perfection in miniature and it's getting a bite that counts. Right, let's slip her back and see if we can get enough one. Well, it only took about 10 minutes from when I last spoke to you to get that fish hooked up and on the bank. In winter, it is essential that if you see any sort of sign of activity that you get a rig towards it, because your window of opportunity is so much smaller than it is in the summer, spring and autumn. So seeing any sign of activity, it's always good to get a rig on it, even if it doesn't pay off. In this case it did, 10 minutes. And the rig was away and we caught that nice little common carp, probably a couple of pounds, maybe 3 pounds at a push, but during the winter it's a very welcome reward. Got the rig back out on the same spot, hopefully we can get ourselves another. Well, it's been about half an hour since we slipped back that small common. I haven't seen much activity till about 30 seconds ago. Just over my shoulder towards the far margin, a carp has come out and crashed just on the surface. So I've brought the rod in and pinged it out as close as I could get. It's probably about 5 to 10 yards away from where that fish crashed. So it's definitely in the area of some more fish. Now it's time to have a snack and sit back and enjoy. Well, as you can probably tell, the sun's starting to fade away over the horizon. It is starting to set. We've probably got about 20 minutes of daylight left, so I'm going to give it another 5 minutes. It's been a very enjoyable session nonetheless, and hopefully I will be back out soon trying to catch another winter carp. Good morning, today you join me back out on one of my club waters. If you've watched my previous winter video, you would have noticed that I'd fishing the bottom lake there at the start of the video. Today I'm actually fishing the top lake. It hasn't done me a bite so far this winter, but I'm hopeful today. We've got a couple of hours in between a storm. Like I said, we're in the middle of Storm Dennis, so in about 3 to 4 hours the forecast is torrential rain and very, very strong winds. So I don't plan on being here while that's going on, which is why I've brought minimal tackle. I've got 2 rods already out on the dance floor, so hopefully we can get ourselves into a carp within those couple of hours. So tactics today, very simple, exactly the same as what I was using previously. Both rods are on Ronnie rigs with the core baits, Banana Nut Spice 14mm white fluoro pop-up. The only added difference with today's session is the water is very, very cloudy. We've had a lot of rain. Like I said, we're in the middle of a storm. So I'm actually using a PVA mesh bag of crushed CB4 boilie, which is like a spicy krill flavour. And that's just to get a bit of added scent into the water column and hopefully get the fish to home in on the smell, as the visuals today are pretty poor. And that's gonna hopefully do us a bite. Let's say we've got a couple of hours and just sit back and see what happens.
During the winter, I like to keep my baits moving around the swim to find the fish. If I haven't had a bite for around 30 to 40 minutes, I tend to reel in, attach another PVA bag and cast it to a different area of the swim.
Well, the rain's starting to come in now, so it's time to pack up. But I wasn't expecting to catch, it's just getting a couple of hours back out on the bank, hoping to get another winter bite. But thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, it's very much appreciated. Until the next time, I'll catch you later.